And we're live. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to this month's episode of After Hours with the Crew. That's the Baggers and Brews crew. If you're joining us for the first time, we would just like to say thanks for checking out the channel. Our channel is pretty much about the two things the three of us love the most, which is motorcycles and good beer. If you like either of those, please hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon so that you can get notified every time we drop a new video. All right, now that we got that out of the way, get to some introductions. My name is Bert. Go by the Beard on social media. I'd ride a 2016 Road Glide Special. Live in New Jersey, married with 2 kids, and excited to be here tonight. George?
My name is George. I'm on a 2018 Road Glide. I am married with 2 dogs. And I had to put it up in the garage because the 3 of us were filming some stuff, so I thought I'd hang out here tonight with the lighting.
Nice.
Hi, everybody. My name's Austin. I ride a 2013 Road King CVO. I'm divorced, but currently very, very taken. And I have one daughter. She's older now, 20. So excited to be here for sure. Excited to have our guests for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tonight we have 2 special guests. We have Jackie from the channel Motocycle Momma and Whitney from Whit Meza. If you guys want to just go ahead and introduce yourselves a little more.
Go first, my dear. All right. My name is Jackie, and my channel is Motocycle Momma. I am married. I have 2 children, daughters, teenagers at that. And I ride a 2016 Harley-Davidson Softail Slim S. And I also live in northeastern Oklahoma.
Nice.
I'm Whit. I go by Whit Meza, just my first name, last name. I live in good old Wisconsin, so the glorious land of beer and cheese. And I'm married with 2 kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, so they keep me on my toes.
Wow, definitely. Okay. Before we get rolling on questions or whatever, what are you guys drinking tonight?
I got Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow. What is that?
You can only get it here in Wisconsin, but
It's beer?
Made with the squeaky cheese.
Oh, wow.
Glarus. Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
That's their prime and butter. That's pretty much what they.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
I got my gin and juice, my usual.
Juice. Nice. I got one of my favorites, Spellbound Porter.
Nice. For me, I'm actually taken back by my childhood and drinking some Frosted Flakes
That's
Get out of here from Magnify, huh?
from Magnify. And let me tell you, it's nice.
I got the Baggers and Brews koozie, and I'm drinking some Bolero Snort Raptor tonight.
Ooh, Raptor, that's a good one.
It is a good one. It's a nice cryo-hopped beer, IPA, 6%er. Very good.
Nice. All right. Well, first we can talk about the ladies a little bit. You guys touched on where you're from, and I think you touched on what you ride. You both talked about what you rode.
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, but I have a 03 Sportster 883, and then I technically claim my husband's bike too, so we have a custom Bat Boy as well.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. So, how long have you guys been riding?
You want to go first, my dear?
I will. I got my motorcycle endorsement 4 years ago. I started off on a Sportster, didn't really ride that much. So I really technically have been riding a lot the last 2 years. So it took me a bit to get some confidence to get out there and do it. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So I guess we purchased our bike before we actually had our motorcycle endorsements. They let us out of the dealership without even asking the question, I guess. But 8 years ago, I bought the bike, sold it when my son was born. He's 6 now. And then within the last 2 years, 3 years, I bought my Sportster, found out we were pregnant, and I didn't ride for another year and a half. So this is my first, I guess, technically full year of riding. I had a couple months last year, but that was it. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I say wow because, I mean, if you've watched her channel, you know some of the rides that she has done. And for not having that many years under your belt, I mean, it's impressive.
I can say that I got my license 8 years ago, but I really didn't ride
Yeah.
at all throughout that time frame. So
Much respect. Wow.
What about you two knuckleheads? I don't know if we've ever really talked about this on our live streams. How long you been riding?
I got my license in 2009. Had the Sportster for all of 6 weeks and bought the Crossbones and rode the Crossbones up until 2018, where, you know, it was just time for a bagger. I mean, we wanted to do longer, different rides and, you know, something comfortable for Stacy on the back and, you know, no looking back.
Nice.
absolutely.
Nice. I started riding a long time ago, but it wasn't legal. I lived down in Puerto Rico. I grew up, born and raised in Puerto Rico. So it's one of those where pick up a bike and just get on the roads. Some of the roads down there were crazy. I started off with crotch rockets, really, a Honda CBR 600. I stopped riding for a while after I joined the military, got out. Not until I got to Jersey did I really get the itch to get another bike. And I believe it was, 2010, Bert, when I picked up my Kawasaki Vulcan Special Edition. And I ended up getting my course. I took my course and everything in 2009, right there on base in Lakehurst. And I didn't really ride a lot. I really started riding a lot once Bert got his bike, because then I had somebody to ride with. And he was anxious to ride, so started getting on some rides. Shortly after, 2017, 2017, I picked up the Road King. So Bert actually pointed it out. We were out and about checking out bikes at Harley dealers, and he pointed it out, and I was like, that's the one. So I've been hooked on it ever since. So
Yep. Yeah, I got my endorsement. I went and took the class at the Harley dealer in 2013, I think early July, and bought my Heritage in August or September. Had that for a few years, and then realized I wanted to do more long distance riding and, you know, just ride more. And that was only a 5-speed because it was a 98 Heritage. So I upgraded to the Road Glide in 2017. So been riding that ever since. All right. So we touched on what we're drinking tonight. What would you say is your favorite adult beverage? Would you be drinking beer, liquor, wine?
I do ice wine. So it's a dessert wine, and it's got like 11 or 10% alcohol content. And it comes in like a small bottle for like $50-$60. But like, that's a 1 full glass jar for me, and I'm
nice.
So I was gonna crack open one of those, but I figured I could sport the beer for tonight too.
Nice. They have those like cups that you put on top of the bottle and just go for it.
Pretty much. That's what I should do.
Nice.
Ice wine is awesome. That's
I
great.
find it delicious. Like, the sweetest it can get is what I'll try to get. So
Nice.
Down with that.
it's worth it.
Jackie?
I like liquor. I don't like beer.
Yeah.
And
and anything with gin, tequila, vodka.
okay.
Yeah, I like clear liquor. I don't like that dark stuff. I ruined myself as a teenager. Nope, can't do that dark stuff.
Nice. I went through a long spell where I was drinking gin and Arizona iced teas. I drank that for probably a couple years, and oof, it was harsh. I don't want to remember those days.
Oh no.
Oh man. All right. So as married women. How do your husbands, feel about you guys riding your own bike and being off traveling and doing all this stuff on your own bike without them?
You want to go first, my dear? You can go for it, Eric.
Okay. My husband's not too crazy about it. He sometimes says he wishes he never got me on the bike because I took off and I love it. And I love the adventures of it. And, he can't always go with me because he has work or, he hurt his shoulder here recently. So he's not been able to do a lot, but I'm still going. So he worries. But, I always have a gun with me, and I know how to protect myself. I'm always watching my surroundings. I don't put myself in situations to where someone could take advantage of me. But I think that's always on his mind, that something could happen. He's not so worried about the bike, just other people. So,
Makes sense.
Okay, I can definitely understand that. Now, to further that question, did he talk you into riding your bike, or is something that you always wanted to do?
I've always wanted to. I always rode on the back of bikes growing up, and I just went to him one day and I said, I'd like to learn how to ride in case something happened to him while we were out riding together. I would be able to get us home or get the bike home safely. And so he was just, his face lit up. He was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'd like to do this." So
Nice.
he called and signed me up for the class. I didn't. So
Okay, nice.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Mine's a completely different story, I guess. So my husband and I were just barely married. I made him walk into a dealership with me one day, and we walked out with a bike because that's, I guess, how we roll. I was like, I really want to go check it out. I'm looking, we're interested. We were going to share the bike. So it was one that we were both going to ride, whether he was going to ride it to work or I was going to ride it to work. But I was the push to get us to get a bike for that sake. So we walked in the dealership, had no experience whatsoever on a bike besides like riding dirt bikes and riding on the back of a bike, but no experience whatsoever. And we pretty much purchased a bike and we had to get it home. And the sales guy was like, "So I should have asked you this before you signed the papers, but do you guys know how to ride?"
Oh no.
We look at each other, we're like, "No, but we'll figure it out. We can get it home." And so my husband, thankfully, was the one that just kind of jumped the gun and rode it white knuckled home. And I took it out in the parking lot that night and ended up dumping it. We had a 2006, I think it is. It was a night train, so Softail. And I was just going too slow. I thought I could manhandle the top part of the bike, and it just fell over. So my confidence shot that first day I threw it, but yeah, I was the one to kind of push to get us to bike. And then we stopped for a little bit and we regretted it instantly. And after a couple years, once we got back to Wisconsin, we're looking at bikes. And so I gifted him his, his Fat Boy. And then I got my Sportster right after that too. So yeah.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
That's wild. That's spontaneous, man. Wow.
So I think he's okay with my trips that I've done this summer, but I think he's so cautious too. But it is what it is. You got to live for today, and that's how I kind of look at it, and he does too. So.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. So George, who we got in the side chat? You got anybody shout out to?
We got a bunch of people in the side chat. We got Red Beer's Adventures, Blacktops, Mrs. Blacktop, and Brian is here. Moto Carry, PA Biker. We got Bry the Biker, who's a Jersey boy. Military Biker, who is the old Scouts Adventures for you guys who've been following his channel. Bell's Rides, Moto Pappy, 883 Riders here. Another Jersey guy, Jersey Nick, the 333.
Yep.
Badgers, the Ozarks, PSP Tommy. And if you guys are in this room and you are not subscribed to either one of these ladies, to Motocycle Momma or Whit Meza, both of them are very close to a big YouTube milestone for small channels, and it is the 1K mark. So head over there, hit that subscribe button. It's if you're not a motovlogger, you may not understand what a big deal it is, but that first 1K, that's an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
help them out. Get over there and hit that subscribe button.
Thank you.
Yeah, go over there and check out their videos, because I'm sure once you watch some of their videos, you'll enjoy it, and then you'll want to be subscribed, because they put out some good content and they're fun to watch. So
Thank you.
I think you'll like it.
And then you'll feel
Definitely.
bad about yourself because Whit Meza has been riding half as long as all of you, and she has ridden the Dragon, and she has ridden Needles, and she's ridden
And an iron butt, right?
and she's got an iron butt.
Yep.
So
I'm just checking things off the list, but I keep adding more shit to it. So it's like, all right, well, it'll end eventually, but I don't think it will.
and Motocycle Momma just got back from her second rally in 2 years.
Absolutely.
So party at the Criver, the Stubborn American.
That was fun to watch. It was fun.
And we were fortunate to break the world record with her last year. She was one of the riders on the world record ride.
Mm-hmm.
One of 34.97.
Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the first long ride by yourself that you did.
Yes, it
Right?
was.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it
Mm.
You're
poured
like,
down
I did
rain
it.
for an hour.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that sucks.
Well, based on what you told us just a little bit ago, you hadn't even been riding that long then at that
No.
point, right?
No.
Nope.
No, I hadn't. No.
Nope. That was her first
Yeah.
long trip by herself on top of that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Woo.
Work.
Us
I
girls
think-
just have to get out there and do it.
Get her done.
Dude,
Pretty much. Gotta make it happen.
I think everybody's story of Bring It Home in 2019 was, well, we hit a little rain.
Exactly. That was
I don't care if you came from the east, the west, the north. You basically hit rain. Going
we
to
hit the
Bring It
rain.
Home.
Once you hit that south western Oklahoma,
Mhm.
we're gonna
You're
get
done. Yeah.
Oof.
yeah, no joke.
Very good.
It's not fun.
So, one more just irrelevant question: do you guys have any hobbies that you do other than when you're riding or when you're not riding?
Whit, you take this one first.
I guess I have like 3 or 4 freelance jobs, so I'm always photographing something for social media content. So I'm a wedding photographer as my full-time business, but I love just taking pictures and sharing content that way. So I enjoy that part. And then I also got, I don't know if this is super nerdy, but I got a Cricut machine. So it cuts pretty much anything from wood to fabric to vinyl to everything. So that's my winter project this summer, for this season, is to figure out that guy. So yeah, we'll see.
All right, we'll be in touch.
Yeah, right. The sky is
Instead
the
of
limit,
first
and
year
I'm
in Tigers and Brews
overwhelmed.
Live.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't have any. I just take care of my family. That's what I do.
Yeah, you have multiple families.
No, just the one family, but they
I thought you said family.
consume my time.
I guess you're busy if you got more than one. All right.
That was our
That's-
secret.
Okay. So let's talk about you guys' channels now. Why don't you just kind of tell somebody who hasn't been to your channel that's just coming over there for the first time what they can kind of expect to see, watching your videos. What's your channel all about, and like kind of what's your goal, when you make these videos? Just what kind of purpose are you trying to have?
So
Go
I
ahead.
started, yeah, I can go. I started mine as a perspective of a young female rider that's a mother, because there are some that I've talked to that have little children but are too afraid to ride because they have young kids. So just sharing my adventures and kind of being more of an aspirational videos, that's kind of my go-to from that sake. So I'm sharing a lot of rental bikes. I've been on a handful of different bikes throughout the summer, but just sharing different parts of the country that I'm able to do. So Vegas, Sturgis, South Dakota, Wyoming. I was out in Tennessee too. So whatever I can get a chance to see different parts of the parts of the States. I'm hopefully going out to California, maybe eventually here, but just getting my insight from that and just trying different bikes instead of, I love my sporty, it serves me well, but I am slightly going on the touring side and I really want to get a bike, but if I can rent and figure something out for now, yeah, that's
a question for later.
We'll save that for a side note. Yeah.
Just real quick, I want to before Jackie goes, just thank you, JT Southern Fried.
Oh wow, appreciate
for that super sticker. Thank you much, buddy. And sorry we missed you out in Sturgis, man. The time just didn't meet up.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like one day away from meeting you guys, and
I know.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Appreciate you.
That's awesome.
All right.
All right. So, same question. I started my channel mostly just kind of document, because my husband and I started writing so we could do this after our kids were gone. So we have a friend that really likes to watch videos. So I started it for him. And then I started seeing more motovloggers and I thought, well, I think I'm kind of funny. So my channel is mostly to entertain because don't take me serious. I just like to joke around. I like to have fun. I cuss a lot sometimes. Sometimes I don't cuss, but I don't know. I like to have fun. And I just like Whit, I want to show other women that you can get out and do this if that's what you want to do. I mean, if you want to ride on the back, ride on the back. You know, I don't discriminate. Just get out and do whatever it is you want to do. If it's not riding, if it's race car driving, whatever, know that you can do this if you want to do this and not feel the guilt. Because I think a lot of mothers feel guilt when we take time to ourselves, but we really need that time to recharge ourselves so we can give back to our family.
Absolutely. You hit that on the head.
Yep. And thank you, Bodine. Thank you to 333 for those super chats. It's much appreciated. We're just monetized, so we're putting this all right back into the channel to make some better stuff for you guys. So thank you very much.
Good job.
Well done.
Definitely. Cool. Thanks, guys.
And actually, one thing I have to say about Motocycle Mama after meeting her in person, what you see on the videos is what you see in person. Absolutely 100% genuine. There's no difference in acting and real life. That is her 100%.
I love
Thank
it.
you, Austin.
That's kind of been one of the cool things about the whole motovlogging thing since we kind of got involved in it.
Yeah.
At least the people we've met, they've all been that way. They've all been very genuine and the same way they are on their channel, they kind of are in person. I mean, we haven't met any people yet that, seemed anything other than completely genuine and just cool down to earth people, which I guess, in the biking community, that's mostly what you get. I'm sure there's some cheesy people, but we haven't met any of them yet, right?
No.
So, all right. So was there anyone that inspired you to start motovlogging, or anyone that you were watching that kind of pushed you towards wanting to do it, or did it were you not watching anybody before you even started?
Just vaguely. Like there was somewhere if I did some YouTube search to figure out how to do something, then I found certain channels. But I think from a document standpoint, I love photographing, and video was one thing that I wasn't too keen on. Like I needed to learn, and this was the best way to kind of put both worlds together and figure out from that mentality. So I figured that's kind of the best ways to motovlog. I don't know. I've seen just normal vlogs of people, and why not? I could do this too.
Yeah.
And you're very photogenic too. That now I know why your pictures come out so nice.
Yes.
On all your social media platforms, because I mean that explains a lot. I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, your Instagram grid is and we've talked about this over DM before. Like your Instagram grid is really awesome.
I'm addicted to that. So it is that. It's like pure gold for me just to dive into. Find inspiration from other people. It's an awesome platform too.
Great.
Thank you.
So Jackie, was there anybody that kind of you were watching that inspired you, or were you just kind of up and did it without that?
No, I just did it. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great people to watch, so you can get ideas and try to figure it out. I did watch people once I, decided to start doing it, better, I guess. But no one, I can't say anyone really inspired me. So
how about you, George? Did anybody inspire you?
You.
Well, I mean, Motovloggers, Bert turned me on to Adam Sandoval, and, I found five things to tighten on your Harley from John Maxwell. And that was about it. And when we put this channel together and Blockhead, really, the people that everybody watch, and, I mess with these guys all the time because, my two, from a filming standpoint, it's really, Peter McKinnon, Jesse Driftwood, some of those guys, and Lindgren, who I watch, the most. But when we went to Texas to meet all those motovloggers is really when I started watching other people's channels, a lot more. There were the handful of people, Gear Raven and Dees, who, were really the first two that brought us into the community. And then from that point on, I think we really started watching more and more of it.
I didn't even know there was a community until that night when you were like, Geared Ravens talking about us on their live stream.
Yeah, same for me.
Live stream. What are you talking about?
I was like, who?
You can go live on YouTube. What's going on? And we were actually at a rally that weekend. We were at Ocean City, the 2019 Ocean City rally. So it was.
Talk about three dudes get real giddy real quick.
Yeah. So there's a question in a side chat from PSP Tommy G for Motorcycle Mama.
Okay.
Whoa.
Said, would you test ride an Indian motorcycle?
I definitely would. They have some beautiful motorcycles. I would love to test ride one. Definitely.
And I think we know Whit is already into.
I rode a Bobber, I rode a Chieftain, and I rode the 2020 Challenger all within a month's time span. So
wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
and you liked it.
Nice. I love the Chieftain, so yeah. I love the Challenger, but I'm like, I don't need that much power, and no offense, I'm a more street glide than road glide look, and that's more of a road glide look than that. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, we don't discriminate against the hundreds of thousands of people that ride street glides.
2 wheels.
2 wheels. That's all that matters. That's like, yep.
All right. PSP Tommy G has a follow-up question. Which Indian would you want to test ride?
Oh, there you go.
I would want to test ride all of them, but probably the Chieftain first because Nikki has one, and that is a sweet-looking bike. And just seeing her on it, makes me think that I'd be able to handle it. As far as so I think that'd be a good fit. Yeah,
biker. Yeah, she's got a Chief. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
in the chat. Yeah, she's in the chat. Nice.
One more question before I move on to mine. Mrs. Stevie has a question. I don't know if we covered this yet. How long have you both been motovlogging?
This riding season. So I guess it got warm around April, May timeframe. Okay. That's when I officially started because bikes were pretty much laid up in the garage until then. So once I could get on the bike and go ahead, that's when I started. So
you just started this riding season and you're already over 900 subs?
Yes, I guess so.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't even want to say how long I've been doing it now, so.
Well, you have to because the question was asked.
Well, shit. I think it was I think 2018 was when I started, just putting my full rides on, but not really motovlogging. I think I started actually motovlogging last, late summer or something like that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So really just before Bring It Home as well then.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I met Dee's and the community, that's when I started,
It took
you know, really motovlogging. And I was like, okay, I can do this. There's all these other people doing it. And it's great. It's fun to be able to bounce ideas off of each other and just, you know, say, hey, can you tell me what I'm doing wrong? Or, you know.
Yeah.
It's always a learning process, and I think that's why I enjoy it, because you can always tweak something, you can always make something better, or there's different ways to look at it. So from a creative standpoint, like there's just endless options from that end. So
Definitely.
Yep. I mean, it's learning to do new things and then putting new spins on things that you've done in past videos.
heck yeah.
You know, I mean, there is so much to do. So it was this year that the first Wisconsin Rustic Road video went up?
So I think I was the same as Jack. I just put a GoPro on my bike and took some of those rustic roads, but actually motovlogging and having something set up in my helmet was this year.
This year. All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
That's cool.
Much props. Oof.
It's fun.
Okay. Another question. Have you guys done any collaboration videos with other motovloggers? And if not, would you want to?
Oh, absolutely, I would. I've got all the equipment to do a dual vlog, and I haven't have it set up in my helmet yet, but I want to. There's Megan Stark, who lives in just in Milwaukee area. I don't know if you know who she is. She's another moto vlogger as well. But anybody, if I can find local or if I can go visit them, I'm going to definitely do a moto vlog. So just let me know where.
What did you say the other one's name was that you?
Megan Stark.
Dark.
Yeah.
Stark.
I feel like she started on Instagram and more recently moved to YouTube. Is that?
I forget what, I think she might have a Ducati Scrambler or something like that. So that's kind of what built up her channel, was that. But she lives in Milwaukee, and I've met up with her a couple times, but we haven't actually rode together yet. So I would love to do from that standpoint. But driving downtown Milwaukee is not always the best. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go to the Harley Davidson Museum or anything around that area, but
Didn't make it.
yeah, need to. And then let me know when you're here.
I've done a few things. When I first started, I call them off the bike videos, but I've done those with quite a few. Like Stevie TV, he and I had this thing. We went back and forth a few times, and then I recently had a 3-way with the Blacktop Devils. So
That was entertaining. I loved watching that.
so.
Who doesn't?
So we had a 5-way with them, so there.
Yeah.
Well, mine was more intimate, so more one-on-one time with them.
Oh, poor Heather.
Yeah, then.
But yeah, I would love to do more motovlogs with other people, and it's so easy to do. You know, you can do it via Bluetooth with your phone. You know, so I don't know, long distance motovlog might be a little awkward, but you can still do it. You know, something like that would be fun. But yeah, I love. And I think Robin, the lady biker, she's going to be in a couple of weeks, so we're going to go ride together.
That's fine.
And
Nice.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Well,
Cool.
the Black
You got a
Ops,
quick,
I don't know if it was more intimate than ours.
Wow.
Good question from
I
the
did
chat
call
from
Blacktop Devil my daddy, so
No.
Alrighty then.
sorry, Heather.
That's
I can see Jackie had that face. She was about to say something.
So my done life asked it, what has it been like to be hopping on so many bikes this season?
It's awesome. I wish I would have done it before I had purchased my bike. I'm thankful that I have 2 wheels to ride, but it's opened up so much from a perspective of once I rode, I did the lowrider, and then I did a heritage, and then I did a street glide. Those are the first times riding any of those bikes this summer. But then I hopped on different brands, and I was like, I need to try more. I need to try different ones. I want to pretty much ride whatever is available to Triumph, any of the dirt bikes. So whatever can show up in my garage, or if I can go travel to ride them, it just has I don't know. I want to ride all of the bikes now. So yeah,
That's cool.
it is cool.
We've been bad about test riding bikes. Like we had ambitions too, and then we had the pandemic, and
The vid hit, and
we just yeah.
You can still do it. What would you try, or what would you ride?
we were gonna go ride the live wires.
Oh,
Live wires, yeah.
fun. That was fun.
Our
And
local dealer had a
I've been
bunch, and the guy we know that works there was like, "Come on down anytime you guys want, man. We'll put you on them. You can test ride them." And then everything fell apart.
Dang it! You gotta spend some time to do it. That's where one of the sales people that were down in Milwaukee, she gave me that same go ahead, and I took her up on it. I was like, I'm coming down on a Wednesday. She goes, all right, that's fine. I'll have it ready for you. She gave me free range. She says it's fully charged. Just go bring it back. We trust you. So
That's all.
it was a blast. A completely different experience too. I don't know if anybody else has had the chance to ride it, but I enjoyed it because you pretty much, it feels quiet. You don't have to think about anything pretty. You just have to pull that throttle back and you go. So it's awesome.
That's cool. That brings me to a question that just kind of random. Do you guys have any kind of relationship with your local dealerships, or do you want to? Have you tried to? Anything like that? Like where you would kind of, I don't know, go there a lot or do videos from there or promote them and they promote you, anything like that?
Well, because I live in Wisconsin and it's Harley land, the HD Museum is right there. And so we were working in collaboration to do the Flat Out Friday Momma Tried weekend. And then that was like literally the weekend of when everything hit the fan. So they had to cancel their party the night before. They were supposed to do the Flat Out Friday, and I was supposed to help kind of promote from their end. But yeah, so it's in the works, but we just got to get the country back to normal.
Yeah.
That happens. So yeah.
We have 2 dealerships in Tulsa. There's one that I really like to go to. My neighbor Steve, he actually works for them, so he's kind of my Harley dealer. So if Charles needs parts or something like that, he just down the road, so he just brings them over. But I've not gone in to talk to them about anything like that. I don't know. It's just, I'm not that kind of person. So it would be weird. I know, you just got to get over it. But I might go in there. When I go in there, I just want to look at bikes and they won't leave me alone. I'm just like, back off. I just want to look at them.
Or you have the completely opposite.
That brings me to another question that the Piney Princess brought up and wanted me to ask. So when you guys go to the dealership with your husband, how does that does the salespeople come over and go directly to your husband, or do they ever come over to you first and ask you, if you're interested in a bike?
Well, because my husband's kind of been MIA and we haven't really been able to enjoy each other's company for a while, I've been going myself. And I kind of get a, hey, you're probably going to head into motor clothes. That's great. And I go right to the bikes and just kind of enjoy being not bombarded by people and just going, all right, let me see their used collection and let's see how many bikes, because I used to work at a dealership as well. So from my end of it, like, I have a different perspective on it, but it's nice to just kind of take a step back and not be bombarded with sales. So, yeah.
If I'm standing there with my husband, they will come to him and start talking to him, but he's really good about redirecting them. And so he's just like, well, she's looking at this. This is what she rides, So then they start to talk to me. But then I'm like, I didn't want him to talk to me.
You gotta get on the eyes and be like,
I just want to look at it.
I have to do the same thing because when we go in, we might be there for something for her, and they always come right to me, and I'm like, don't look at me, man. She's the one that's buying something,
Yeah.
Talk to her. But I think, we were talking about it earlier, her and I think it's just a big sales mistake that they make, just assuming that it's the guy, because I know her, and if any other women are like her, like it completely turns her off at that point. And if she was looking for a bike, she's not going to buy it there.
Yeah.
You know, because you just
And she also has the like 50-50 approval from you guys as well. So like you have to treat like each that walk through the doorway with like equal respect from that end too, because if you don't treat that other person nicely, or you just kind of give them the cold shoulder, they could be the one with the buying power and be like, all right, peace out, I'm done, like I don't want to be here anymore.
exactly.
We went to one of the dealerships and I looked at a Softail Slim S there, but the salesman told me that it was too big of a bike for a little girl like me. So I went to the other dealership and bought one.
You were probably taller than he was.
Oh, I'm just petite, he says. I was too skinny. I'm too little of a girl and I couldn't handle that bike. So I was like, all right.
Wow.
Bye.
Anybody that walks into a dealership has some kind of motive, and you got to make them feel like they are the person that walks in. So that's
just a horrible sales strategy, if you ask me. And I'm not even in sales, but it just seems really stupid.
Yeah, it was really stupid. I don't like to go to that Harley store. It's over on the, once I say this, people will know, it's on the uppity side of town where the snobby bikers, you know, those rich people go. So I don't like to go to that one anyway. So I go to the regular people's one.
Yeah, put that one out.
They won't be endorsing me now, but since I said that, so.
That's awesome, Stacey.
I was wondering if you caught that comment, if you're going to put that.
And you know, the funny thing about this is, it's so true. Even with buying the bike, like you come to me and you snub my wife, even if I'm the one looking, she's got to approve it all. Like she approves all the finances. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? It just doesn't make sense. It's bad strategy.
This happens all the time. They always come by and they leave the guy the check, and my wife will tell you, I don't even know how to calculate a tip that she's paid so many bills over the years. It's just like, that's where the money is.
Well, Carolyn's really sweet about that because she'll just hand me her card to slip to them and act like I'm the one giving it to them. Like she tries to make me not look like a total schmuck.
Well done.
Very, very classy. I don't do that. I like go, guess what? You don't get a tip.
There you go.
That's it.
Oh, that's funny.
That's it.
All right, so back to the channels. What do you guys see? What do you guys think is the key to a successful YouTube channel?
Consistency from my part, I think. And just being like, it doesn't have to be a consistent schedule, but keep them consistent of what they're expecting. I know I'm throwing like loops into my mix of some of my car camping, but I'm trying to do more adventure parts. So whether that's dirt biking, whether that is 4-wheel off-roading, snowmobiling, I'm just trying to slowly kind of creep that in, but keep things from a consistent level. That's where I think it's key from that end. So,
and I think answering comments is real important. People really like it whenever you have a connection with them, you know, even if it's just for a short time. But, you know, whatever they say, I try to get back with them and say something, not just thanks. You know, I try to thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. I really appreciate you. Something like that. I think connecting with them really helps.
Yeah, that interaction is definitely a big deal. I think, I mean, George, what would you say? Because I think we're kind of all on the same page with this.
I mean, you know, both those things, consistency of getting up content, which to me is the toughest thing to do as a YouTuber. Yeah. The engagement and being yourself. I mean, it is the big thing that, you know, you can't fake being somebody else, you know, for a period of time of how long it's going to take you to have a successful YouTube channel. You know, you just have to be genuine. And then when people meet you, it's all that much better, right? Exactly. So the person that they're watching and they'll continue to watch after they meet you, you know, it is that person on YouTube. So
you got it.
Yeah. The 333. Did you actually walk away with all of your money out of that deal? And you live in New Jersey? How did that happen?
I'm sure Chris did, man. He's slick.
He has all of what's left, is what he meant to say.
Yeah, what she left him.
So where do you guys see your channel being this time next year? Do you have any goals for the next year? Anything like that? Anything that you want to improve on or anything that you want to focus on?
I think for mine, it's just keeping consistent and being from that end, because the winter months are hard here in Wisconsin. So like I have to kind of get creative in that realm. And so I'm going to try to do some Northwood snowmobile riding. And so I feel like it kind of like aligns with it a little bit, but just getting out and adventuring, that's my part. So what I can do to inspire others to take the same rides or rent the same bikes or try the different routes. I really want to, whenever I do finally upgrade, I want to try to do the 48 states in 10 days challenge for the Iron Ride. So I don't know if I'll get there or not, but like that's kind of my mentality, is to kind of get to that point and just to share all of my arts from there. So yeah, I don't really have too much of a goal. I try not to, because I'm a marketer on one side, and so if I have goals and stick to it, it feels like work, and I don't want it to feel that way, because then it's going to turn you off from it and you're going to get kind of down on yourself if you're not meeting certain standards. So for me, it's like, all right, I'm just going to take it as whatever comes my way, and if things do work out the way that they do, I hope it continues to grow. But I'm taking an easier approach from my end on it than I would other work related stuff. So yeah, we'll see.
I just want to work on my filming and editing. Like I need to be capturing more stuff. I'm really bad about just living in the moment, so I don't stop. And so I'm trying to stop and get off my bike and show everyone around and talk about where I'm at. And so that is my goal, is to work on being a better storyteller, I guess.
That's always good. I love it.
Yeah, we have the same problem, man. You get caught in the moment of whatever the ride is or wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and you're enjoying yourself, and you kind of forget that you got to capture these things and you got to talk to the people so that you have footage to make a video out of. And we still struggle with that over a year in, and we're still struggling with that. I mean, we do it every time. We always finish a ride and, man, I wish we would have did this, or why didn't we get that? Or it's a struggle.
It is.
It's a struggle.
But you gotta live with it too, though. So that's like the balance of both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Whit touched on this, and this was actually my next question. You guys both live in states where it gets cold. So my next question was, what's your plan, to keep content rolling through the winter coming up?
I've got a video scheduled for every single week, but thankfully I shoved a lot of riding all into August, and so I have videos scheduled out until November, December timeframe.
Planned ahead.
All right, I only have 3 months or so to get some core.
That's awesome that you were able to do that.
So I won't probably share my Tail of the Dragon video until end of November, December, but it kind of is what it is. I don't want to upload a crap ton of videos all at once, and they're gonna lose traction from that end. So if I can just slowly keep sharing some of them in the middle of August and December, and I'm okay with that, because I'd rather relive that than see what's hanging outside my doorway that I have to go shovel or snowblow. So
right.
Yeah. Well, I am not that prepared, so.
Anybody is. I am thinking the same thing.
Shit, sorry.
But we have pretty mild winters here. There are some days I could go out in December and ride for a few days. So, I mean, if we get a really bad cold snap, I probably just won't put anything out, if I don't have anything, which I hate doing that, but I just tell myself, don't pressure to get out and make something just to make it. Right. So yeah, we're pretty lucky. It's pretty mild here. So sometimes I just have to bundle up and go out. So
that's awesome.
Rock with that. Yeah. What's your plan, George?
Yeah. We're working on that. Yep.
We definitely didn't bank any videos, did we?
Man, there has been once or twice since we've started this channel that we've been like really ahead of the game, I feel like, and it's tough, because our videos, I do put a lot of time into the videos, and it's tough to get ahead. And
There's three of us.
Yeah, there are three of us, but
It's a lot more coordinating than most of the motovloggers have to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You guys can just wake up and decide on a weekday to go take a ride and film it. Like, we don't do that. I mean, we're all working, during the week, and it's like, then we can't do every weekend because we have families and whatnot. So
do list and
it's tough. I mean, honestly,
it's hard.
Not to toot our own horn, but I'm actually pretty impressed that we've managed to be consistent for the last year, considering everything we have to deal with three of us. So
absolutely,
I'm gonna toot our horn. I just did it.
You guys have done really well. Toot toot.
Black top.
Procrastination.
Thank you, Blacktop. I will drink
Brian.
procrastination.
Thank you, brother.
That's funny.
We will.
I think we have some good stuff planned for this winter season. Probably do some a little more reviews and part reviews and maybe some installs. Or I think we all have. Well, I think a couple of us had plans to get some stuff done to the bike, so we'll be able to do those. And we can always just drive the car to a brewery. We like beer.
And we did last year we did a New Year's resolution video, and some of the Bert's like, don't talk about that video. But it's one of the goals I had that I really wanted to do this year was to get a short film done, and we're sitting here in October, and the work on it has started. Both these guys were over here last night, shooting, and it's going to be very cool. It's going to definitely tell a story, even more so than a regular video. So
awesome.
That's got me bogged down right now, but it'll be out soon.
Thank you.
It'll be out soon.
Cool.
Good time.
Jeannie says this is good. We should put this comment up. Jeannie says Austin has a lot to do to his bike, unfortunately.
Oh no!
Why? Do I want to ask why?
You do want to ask why.
All right, then elaborate.
All right. So I guess the cat's out of the bag now. So, yeah, the bike is done. It's towed.
Don't tell him what you're going to do to it, because that's going to be in stuff. But just tell him where it's at.
Okay, so like 3 weeks ago, first time that I started the bike and was getting ready to head out, get gas, because we were going to meet up that Saturday, the bike decided to make some funky noises.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit is right. Yeah, so it seems to be that the bike decided to collapse a lifter, bend a rod, and some valves. And from what I'm looking at, it looks like the pistons are shot also.
Oh, damn.
So the 110 Fatty is down at the moment.
Well, there's your content.
Yeah, right. Can you fix my oil leak on my Sportster that just happened?
Probably could. If you have the manual, I can fix anything. But this one here kind of took me by surprise. There was a little bit of noise that was kind of bothering me throughout the whole Sturgis trip. And I'm really happy and lucky actually that it didn't happen while in Sturgis. There was a couple times that the bike decided to do a little drip, 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 drip. I was like, what the? But I made it home. So there was a recent live stream that somebody mentioned a company up in Wisconsin. And that's who I'm speaking with right now, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
I just spent 10 hours editing under a 15-minute video for my overview of the 2020 riding season. I feel you.
That sucks.
I feel you.
You should invest in an editor friend. That's the way to go. Just saying.
So we've got, especially for the Jersey guys, we've got somebody in the chat who just popped in who done a couple of rides with this month. His name is Holy Shift.
That's awesome.
Yep, Sandy from Holy Shift, and you guys could check him out. He's
a good dude, man.
About his riding, man. He's a good dude. You know,
we just met him recently a couple weeks ago on a collaboration ride we did with what's it called, Cycle Fanatics. They came down to our neck of the woods to ride down here in the Pine Barrens with us, and to that point we didn't even know Sandy, but the guy John from Cycle Fanatics brought him with him because they're friends, and that's when we met him and found out he had a channel, you know, subscribed, started following him, and now we went up last weekend up there to ride with them up north in North Jersey and New York. So good collaboration we got going on. Some good guys from, you know, New Jersey that we got to meet, and we kind of owe that all to motovlogging and the motovlogging community. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the Jersey motovlog community is growing, man.
It is growing, actually.
It seemed like it was a handful of guys when we started. Now, not only is it, you know, more than a handful of guys. I mean, it's, you know, channels that are, you know, getting some traction on the platform. So it's very exciting.
Heck yeah.
Yes, it is. So next category, we'll talk about a little bit about riding. First question out of there is, do you guys have a favorite local road that you like to ride and ride often?
Nothing beats the ones that, like, I went out to different states to ride, but there are 120 some rustic roads here in Wisconsin. Most of them are gravel roads, but that's kind of my, like, point of interest. There are multiple ones all throughout the state, and so wherever I am, I can kind of find them all. So I've done all the central ones, but I need to gravitate more towards the south and the north woods area and ride some of those. So other than that, the driftless region in Wisconsin is probably like the go-to area where you kind of get those glaciers that were formed how many years ago, and you can feel like you're somewhat in somewhere else. But yeah, it's flat country cornfields in some of the Wisconsin. So
okay.
There is a loop I like to take. I go down 66, and then I'll get on 28 and take that to Langley, and then get on 82. And I can't remember what the one I get off of on 82 is, but then I circle around and get back onto 66. And it takes me about, I don't know, it's about an hour. So it's not that bad, but it's my go-to if I just want to get out and just clear my head, because I know that route and I don't have to think about it. You know, it's got some small back roads that hook up to the highway again, but it's just a really good get out and get some stress off of you road.
that's awesome.
Yeah, we have those here too. We have roads that we frequent, you know, in the pines near us when we don't want to really go somewhere far, but just want to get out and ride and get a little wind therapy, stop for some drinks or dinner or lunch, whatever. So
Yeah.
you know, and we don't have, I mean, I say we don't have, it feels like we don't have the most scenic roads, but then like we were up in North Jersey last weekend and we saw some beautiful stuff, even though part of that was New York. But and I guess if you're not from around here and don't see it all the time, like, you know, Pine Barrens are pretty scenic, you know, certain spots anyway. Oh, thanks Ozarks HD Rider, appreciate that.
Take care, everybody.
Good night, Danny.
Appreciate you.
That's awesome.
Okay, so what is the longest ride you've taken by yourself? And I know we might have touched on this earlier with Jackie, but I don't know if that was backstage or if that was live. So
I think that was backstage, actually.
I think it was.
You can go first, my dear. Go for it.
All right. So, of course, my longest one was to the K River last year whenever we went and did that world record. So that was my longest solo.
Cool. How long was it for miles? Do you know?
Under 200 to get to Moyers from here. So it's not that far. Yeah, and on turnpikes, it's like 2.5 hours. Got to stop and get gas, and get a butt break. So
yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Well, you kind of know mine from if you've watched any of my videos, but I've done the Iron Butt Challenge. So I've done the 1,000 miles in 24 hours and then decided to get some sleep, but then ride about 600 miles the next 2 days. So I went up to the Northwoods and came back down. So I could have done it's a saddle sore. It's a bun burner. I could have done the bun burner, but I just went for the saddle sore and got my certificate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
That's so cool.
We're jealous, man. We're jealous.
I want to do it, man. I'm trying to get these guys organized so we can
totally should. I'm realizing now that I've ridden some of the touring bikes, I don't know why I did this on the Sportster, but like that was my only choice. Like I had the bike and that's what I had to ride. But since I kind of was, I don't want to say like, how do I describe it? Like it was nice and luxurious to ride some of those touring models that I was like, oh, I could easily try to do another saddle sore or whatever it is, bun burner on a touring bike. So
your Iron Butt was on the Sporty.
Was on the Sporty and it's an 03, so it's a frame mounted bike. So
that makes you even more. So now I could go do one and I still wouldn't feel as badass as what you did.
It was exhausting because like I had to stop every 100 miles with my peanut tank. So like people can cruise through and do 200, 300 miles depending on what bike and what tank you have. But like I had to force myself to find a spot to get gas or else I wasn't going anywhere. So it took up time and then I had to motovlog it. So that took about 15, 20 more minutes. And here I am 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, just completely exhausted when some people could be done with their ride already.
I bet. Real quick, Sandy, thank you so much. Stevie Foe, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. We will definitely put that back into the channel and use it to make some good videos. I appreciate that.
Definitely. Have a good night, brother.
But yeah, that's just amazing. I think that's awesome that you did that. Honestly, I think based on my question, the longest ride you've taken alone, I actually think Jackie has me beat. I don't think I've really done that many rides like 200 miles by myself. I'm always with either one of these guys or with
Would you prefer it that way?
What's that?
Would you prefer it that way? Do you guys like riding together? Like that's probably the reason why,
I do. I like riding with the guy. I like riding with friends, whether it's these guys or we have a few other friends, that we're close with, or with my wife. Like I prefer it. Like I love riding, but riding by like going a long distance by myself, it just never really like I never really have like the opportunity to do that or really the desire to do that. Like I don't know. I'm actually, despite what I try to put off to everybody, I'm actually kind of social and I like hanging out with people.
That is true.
Like I bore myself, so I don't want to go for a 300-mile ride by myself.
Yeah, and that's what somebody shared. Like they couldn't understand how I could ride that long by myself without talking to anybody or like being engaged with somebody. Like that's what they wouldn't be able to do it without that. But for my sake, if I didn't have my radio or I didn't have like something engaging to do, I don't think I would have done it at all.
Yeah, it's like me. It's like I mentioned before, I had the bike before Bert, but I barely rode until Bert got his bike and then it was on. I've been on a bike ever since.
Yeah, I mean we worked with each other for quite a while before I got my bike, and I mean there was a long time that I didn't even know you had a bike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, all right. Next, do you guys have any roads or rides on your bucket list? Like, what's the next one or two top rides you have, if you could do. Maybe it might be something that you can't do right away, but like top of your list, bucket list. What do you got?
Highway 1, definitely. And then, because if I can get out to California, I'm going to try to do something out in that general area. But then, what's that?
That's the Pacific Coast Highway.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then Death Valley, because I'm going to try to go back to Vegas too. So I'm going to do Death Valley when it's not 120. When I was there, it was like the highest temperature on record. So I'm glad I didn't go out in that in August. But I want to go out and ride Death Valley area as well. So
that's pretty wicked.
Yeah, at least for this year.
I'd like to head out east. A lot of people want to go west, but I want to go east. There's some really nice roads to the east, and I would love to head east. I see everyone doing the back of the dragon.
Bell of the Dragon,
the beautiful roads. So I would love to just spend a couple of months just over there, just riding around, and just they have beautiful parks. Not moto camping. No, I'm gonna stay in a hotel. That's roughing it. So I'm not gonna. No, but I would love that. I'm just not a camping girl. That's not my style. So, but I think I'd like to go east.
Good call. Good.
Nice. Do it around September. Continue on to Ocean City, Maryland Bike Fest and meet up with us.
When is that?
September timeframe.
September. Okay. All right. Just got to make it back here by October.
Yeah, plenty of time.
We're trying to recruit for Ocean City.
We are.
We want to fill it up.
It really is a great rally, man. For people that haven't been to it, it's in a great area. It's in a great beach town. There's a ton of bars and restaurants that have things going on, and the rally itself actually puts together a heck of a lineup of bands, like big name bands, which is pretty cool. Every year they got big headliners. I think I haven't been to all the rallies, but I feel like from what I've watched online that next to Sturgis and the concerts that they put on, I think Ocean City might be the next biggest as far as names. I haven't seen any other rallies that have the kind of big names singing at them that Ocean City has. So it's a good time, man. And for us, it's close. It's only like a couple hour ride for us, so it's nice. But it's a good rally. People should check it out. It's growing. It's definitely growing.
It really is.
Sweet.
All right. So next, if you could buy any bike, money's no object, what bike would you buy?
Can it be multiple? Because that would
top one and two then.
Because I want one of every sort of bike. I want an ADV bike. I want every sort of option out in there, including some of the little ones for my kiddos. That would be awesome. But if I had to choose after riding a couple of them this year, I definitely want a touring bike. That I felt luxurious riding some of those, just from the sake of I could pound miles from that end. So I enjoyed that. What's that?
A bagger.
A bagger. But I rode the Street Glide, and most likely we'll have one in our garage eventually, but it'll be my husband's. And I think I'm going to go probably the Indian route and get the Chieftain, because I love that dark horse look to it. And I don't know, I enjoyed that bike a little bit more than the Street Glide. So, but yeah, we're getting most likely in 5 or 10, not even that, probably in 5 years, we will probably both have 2 different baggers in the garage. So, yeah.
5 years?
Less than that. I would say that's my less end all be all.
Yeah, spontaneous as you were talking about that you are earlier, I don't think it's going to last 2.
It's probably not. So.
How about you, Jackie?
Well, I fell in love with the 2020 Street Glide a few weeks ago, and I wanted it so bad. I didn't want to leave it there.
That's awesome.
So, but my husband said I'd have to sell my bike, and I love my bike. So
that is a tough choice right there.
Yeah.
You've really hooked that slim up. I mean, that bike is looking good. You got the fairing on there. You've got Mm-hmm.
that sissy bar so I can strap a bag. So that worked out really good this year, being able to put a bag on it. So I really love that bike. I feel like it fits me, and it's like my personality. So
Good work.
I'll probably just
Absolutely.
keep riding it and just be me and that bike.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a good looking bike, especially with the Memphis shades, I believe it is, that you have on there.
Yes.
Yeah,
The Road Warrior.
that really accents the whole bike. It really completes it, I think. It's a good looking bike.
Changed the whole look of it for
Mhm.
sure. And
Yep.
the feel, which is great. So I didn't love it so much. Had that big windshield on it. I would fight that thing all the time, and I hated. I would cry when I'd have to ride in the wind because it just scared me. And then I got that on there, and I'm like, oh, this is why people like to ride.
Okay, so did it decrease the buffeting? And you get any buffeting whenever you ride?
I get a very small amount.
Only if you sit up straight, right?
Well, yeah, it hits just the top of my helmet just a little bit, but it's such a small amount.
Wow.
And now I feel the back end of my bike feels like it's really, not real stable, but Charles says it's because it's a soft tail, so it's a little bit lighter, and I don't have a lot back there, so like I feel like when I'm going around corners, it's kind of like sliding.
Okay.
But he's like, it's not, because I had him ride it. I'm like, you need to ride my bike. I think something's wrong with the back end. And he was like, no, that's just the way it rides. So I'm like, okay. I never noticed it until I didn't have to fight the front.
Wow.
Or check the tire for cupping just in case, maybe.
I check my tires constantly. Yeah, I'm really big about checking tires. And I had him follow behind me one day, and I remembered when I felt it, and it wasn't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my imagination, I guess.
Okay.
So
Okay, because that's actually one of the symptoms. Whenever the tire cups or starts wearing out, you start getting that little wave. Or when you take turns, the bike starts doing this.
yeah, that's what it feels like it's doing. Like it's going to slide in front of me or something.
Yeah. I mean, soft tails, you know, they have a history of feeling like the back end is kind of dragging around on you.
Okay.
And even just like tapping a little bit of rear brake, when you're going around a corner, you know, especially, I mean, mine's a Springer, so it's a whole nother animal, but just feathering a little bit of rear brake going into a corner is kind of settles it down a lot. It's
Okay. All right.
you know,
Thanks for that tip.
soft tails feel that way.
Okay. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
They do. It's a good bike, though.
Yeah.
It's a real nice bike.
Yeah, I love it.
The touring bikes are actually much better handling. You might not think so because they're so much heavier, but they are much better handling.
I think that's the one thing that terrifies me is like if I drop this bike, that's the hardest part that I'm not going to be able to pick.
We all drop them.
You had that sentence all messed up. It's when I drop this bike.
Yeah.
Except Bert. Bert will muscle my bike up. There is no.
I'm me. You're you. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's you know, you're a Viking and I'm a normal person. It's
Stirred the pot.
yeah, I'm telling you.
Arizona.
There's always somebody around to help you pick it up, and if you have to pick it up, no big deal.
The first time I dropped the road glide in front of him, all he could ask me is, "What are you doing?" Like I was doing it on purpose.
Exactly.
He's like, "What are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing right now." The whole time the bike was going over, it was like slow motion.
You looked a little bit like a quitter to me. Like you kind of gave up on it. I expected more.
Nice.
I was, you know, just as surprised.
Crash bars for the win. Yep, that's it, man.
You know, those things are lifesavers, though, because, you know, I haven't dropped my bike, but I've been around plenty of people that have, and those things are some lifesavers. And especially if you have the saddlebag guards, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've had several people within our group drop their bikes and no damage whatsoever thanks to those things. So, they are lifesavers.
So it's you got to get the saddlebag guards, especially like if you're a smaller person on a bagger. I mean, these bikes they're heavy, and their point of no return is much less than the point of no return for you know, soft tail. Maybe not as sporty because sporties are a little top heavy, but
They are.
you know, for the soft tails, they're much. I feel like they're much more forgiving. You know?
I did the same thing in my done life.
That's
That's exactly what I got mine.
That's funny. So how many miles have you guys put on your bike that you have right now? That you put on the miles?
I would have to go outside and look. I have no idea.
No idea at all.
I'm not a mile girl. I just
I'm not either.
ride it.
Yeah.
You'll have to tag us in the Instagram post when you take a picture of that mileage.
Okay. All right. I can do that.
I know.
Did you buy your bikes used or were they new?
Mine was used.
Yeah.
Okay, so you both had was yours, Jackie? Was yours used?
Yeah, mine had 74 miles on it though.
Oh,
Dang.
Used.
Awesome.
barely. That's
A test rider.
that was a test ride.
And what's funny is mine was an older gentleman had bought my bike first and put all the nice stuff on it, and then he decided it was too big of a bike for him. So
Oh.
Nice.
he traded it in for a trike. So I'm like, thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's fun.
That's
I don't know.
funny.
I don't keep track, but I probably should. I'm going to try at the end of the year, just see where I'm at roughly on my bike, but then just the miles that I put on throughout this entire year. But I haven't logged any of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure we know that you've already put minimum 1,600 miles in the matter of
Oh, absolutely.
24 to 48 hours.
I
So,
think it's probably over 3, almost 4, probably now this year.
Wow.
I'm a little sporty.
wow.
Do you guys do your own maintenance on your bikes, or do you take them someplace?
I take them in.
Well,
For me, it's
Jackie's
easier
not allowed
to
to
have
touch
somebody
the
else work on it. I don't have to work on my stuff. Like, I take my work to the dealership, have them work on the bike while I'm sitting there working, and it's kind of a catch. It makes it easier.
And that wasn't meant as a knock because you're girls, because I don't really do any maintenance on mine either. So I was just curious if you guys did or not.
Not at all.
I have a maintenance guy. I have an editor and I have a bike maintenance guy. So you gotta have the right friend.
You just used,
I know. I feel
you
like I
just
need
used up your last coupon, brother.
You gotta have to listen. I can easily schmooze you back into doing stuff for me. It's
No,
not bad.
dude, I gave you that coupon book for you know.
Those are for back rows, dude. Those are for back rows. And I just want to give that.
My bad.
That was a Valentine's Day coupon book, dude.
Yeah, my bad. Doesn't have the bike ones. My bad.
Wow.
That's
So what's going on in the side chat, George? Anything?
We now know that Mrs. Stevie rides more than Stevie.
Oh, nice.
I think
Really?
that, and it seems like there's people who crash bars have saved them more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, JT Southern Fried wants to buy a Springer, so
Oh.
Did you tell him you have one for sale?
Mm.
you can check out that video on our channel. I did a video on that Crossbones, and
It's on sale for $14K.
I love Bert. Not only will Bert shop for bikes for everybody, he will
Tell
also
him to.
And one of two things you need to know. The other thing is when he says he's social, it's sometimes forced upon him, because when we walk into a bar, we walk someplace, you can almost see the person that feels like they need to talk to Bert.
Yeah.
Diffuse the situation. Like, is this guy nice? Or is he?
I don't get it. I've spent my entire adult life trying to look as unfriendly as possible to keep people away from me, and it just attracts more and more people. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Good work.
Strange. Very strange. All right. What's next? So obviously you two are women riders. So let's talk about women riders for a minute.
I have it.
I guess
was
that doesn't
our-
matter. Some men have them. Let me.
I know.
That was our theme for the night, so I just wanted to touch on it. Do you guys ever give any thought to the fact that you're the minority in this, I don't know what you even call it, hobby, pastime, lifestyle? Like, do you ever think about the fact that you're like, I think I saw a number, I think it was like 18% of motorcycle riders are women, something like 18 to 20% are women. Do you, does that ever cross your mind, or do you not even think about that?
I think it's something that I always knew I wanted to do. So, like, if you have the mentality that you want to ride, it's just, I feel like inspired by that. Like, I don't feel it like we're a minority. I feel like we're growing and we're getting to that point where I want to be a part of that snowball. I want to see it grow even more. So, for my sake, if I can find more women to ride or more people to ride in general, the better. Like if I had my neighbor or the person down the street that was up for a ride around town, that would be fantastic too. So from my end, yeah, the more people, the better we can get on bikes. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely feel it since I ride alone a lot of time. And most of the guys have been very kind, but you get one here or there that'll be like, does your husband know that you have his bike out? You know, that kind of crap. But for the most part, I think all of you guys have been really sweet and really kind. You guys are like my brothers, and I feel like you watch out for me. You know, so I always, if I'm out riding, and I see a bunch of bikers go by, I don't get worried about them, even if they have patches or something, because I feel like they're looking at me like I'm their little sis and that they're going to kind of watch over me as I'm traveling. It may not be the best thing to think about, but I think that way. I always think the best of people. Like, I don't think they have any ill will towards me, but I feel like you guys have accepted us, and I appreciate that you guys accept us into the community and that you're able to talk shop with us and joke around and stuff like that. It really makes me feel good, you know, to do that, because I know it's a little hard, men and women sharing a passion for a sport. Sometimes people might think it bleeds over into something else, but that's not what we're about. We're just here because we love to ride. You love to ride, and I want to share that with you. You know, I'm not nothing else from you, just, you know, to ride. So
yeah, I think it's awesome. I obviously I'm biased. My wife rides her own, and I'm super impressed. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, see, that's the kind of a man thing right there. Like, I'm impressed. Like, why am I impressed? You know, like, should I be impressed that, you know, that a girl's riding? But either way, I'm super, you know, proud of her that she rides her own. I worry. I definitely worry. Would I rather her be on the back where I'm in control? Yes. But, you know, that's not how it is. That's not what she wants. And I want her to be happy. And she likes to ride her own and be in control of her own bike. And I think it's awesome. And, I mean, I don't get guys that make comments like, you know, what you said, where, you know, does your husband, like, I don't get it. I mean, I think it's awesome. The more people riding, the better. It doesn't have to just be men. So I think it's cool. I love it.
And I think our motovlogging community, you know, there's a lot of women motovloggers. There's a lot more, I think, women motovloggers that we've discovered than I expected to be motovlogging when we first started motovlogging.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, you know, I don't know, but I mean, it's just, it seems like, and over the past year, there's been a number that have not only started, but you've seen their channels really take off. So.
Yep. And there's actually double the amount on Instagram, women riders that don't have YouTube channels. There's tons of them on Instagram.
And I think that's why I love it, because you can find people to connect with. When I was out in Sturgis, I ended up heading more west, and I met up with somebody who I had never met before, but I knew she rode. And like, hey, can we connect? Can we meet up? Thankfully, she had two bikes. I rode one of them, but it was, if it wasn't for Instagram, it wouldn't have happened at all.
Yeah.
So that whole thing kind of led me to finding a community or other riders, because it's hard to step into a dealership and be like, hey, can I find somebody that wants to ride with me? Like, it's a really hard ask for somebody I'm introverted, kind of to that point where I'm just not going to blatantly go up to somebody and be like, hey, can we ride together? Because that would be fantastic. But when you can bridge that gap on social media and they can see what you're not necessarily liking, but kind of get a background of your story and what you are, they feel a little bit more comfortable, and you kind of create that relationship a lot faster than you would expect. So
Well said. Well said. Absolutely.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
How do you feel, Austin, being a woman rider?
We'll take them.
I gladly accept them.
I absolutely accept it. Meanwhile, my bike can whoop your ass.
Wait, what did you say?
Not at the moment, but all right.
I mean, mine starts. So, I mean,
That's very true. That's very true. Just wait. Just wait.
So what do you guys, what kind of advice would you have for women out there who may have an interest in getting, getting their own bike, or to stop riding on the back of their husbands and ride their own? They want to, but they're scared or nervous or don't know where to, like, how to even start that, that journey. What would your advice be for them?
You can only push them so far. So that's my thought. There's plenty of women that have reached out to me that are wanting and interested in riding. And I was just that kind of gentle nudge, like whatever support I can provide to you to get you to even just like try the MSF course or ride somebody's bike, then go ahead and do it. But I'm not one to be like, all right, you need to be on a bike today, because it's not going to work. If you don't have the mentality just quite yet of riding, then all right. But if I can provide inspiration where you're seeing my moto vlogs or you're seeing the photos that I'm sharing and get you to just take that next step further, then that's all I need from my end. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I just say, you have to push yourself. If it's something you want to do, you're going to have to push yourself, and you're going to have to work through those fears. I mean, take your time by all means, but you've got to confront all the fears that you have. Of course, take the courses so you have the knowledge and so you know what you're doing. And then just get out there and practice, and then just freaking take off. Know that you got this. Have confidence. I mean, it's a huge confidence builder whenever you know that you got this and you can do this, and you get out there on the highway and you're doing 80, passing semi trucks, and it's not a big deal anymore. So
that's great advice. And the funny thing is that we kind of phrase that as a question for women riders, but that really is just for anybody. Mm-hmm. I wanted to ride for the longest time, man, and I let my fears keep me from doing it for the longest time. I didn't start riding until I was 36, 37 years old, because I didn't know where to start, or was afraid, like, to get on a bike and just do that by myself without like any kind of training. And then I didn't know where to get finally I realized, you can just go to Harley and do the class and whatnot. And I did that. And I definitely recommend that to anybody, guy or girl, that wants to ride. If you want to ride and you're unsure of yourself, or you haven't, grown up riding or rode dirt bikes, go take the class. The one that Harley offers is a great class. It will give you the confidence to get out there and ride by yourself, because I know I didn't have it. I didn't have that confidence before I took that class. So, and it teaches you things that you definitely will need to know once you get on the road by yourself on a bike. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a guy or girl thing, really. It's just all of us.
He got the bug when he started seeing me ride into work. That's what it was.
I never saw you riding to work. I didn't even know you had a bike, dude.
You look at my bike.
I didn't even know you had a bike. It was a Kawasaki. I thought it was a bicycle.
I mean, the course, the course is, and as a couple of people said it in the chat, Jackie said it. I mean, the course is like the number one piece of advice, because something as simple as when you watch somebody get on a bike, you can tell whether or not they've taken the course. Some people get on the bike, they don't grab the brake. Everybody who's taken that course basically grabs the brake, whether they do it consciously or subconsciously when they get on the bike. And that's the beginning of the little things that it teaches you. And so often, like I had somebody tell me just a few months ago, well, I've been riding for a long time and the course is $450. And my response to that, like, it's your life. It's $450. Because it's just not like these guys will tell you, and I don't necessarily need to get into the story, but I stopped a motorcycle accident this weekend.
Go
for it.
So ironically, just to prequel the story, my wife and her aunt were in a car behind me following me to another family's house. And they came upon stop traffic on 287 with bike parts basically all over the road.
Oh, wow.
And I had a bunch of sport bikes. They came on. They passed me on the road. You
were on your bike.
I was on my bike, right, on a busy highway in North Jersey. And they passed me well over 100. They were all over the road, weaving in and out. And one guy got stuck behind a car and panicked and grabbed a fistful of brake at over 100 miles an hour. The bike wobbled. The bike went down. And he didn't make it. Long story short, like it kind of looked like he was going to make it, but then it just, he just didn't. And clear to me, none of those guys had a safety course.
Thanks.
Yep.
It was very clear. And, the other thing, like just talking about that, like a couple people have done videos on this. Bluegrass Riders is one of the guys that have done videos on this. Like if you're out there, something happens, look for a mile marker, call 911.
Yep.
And they're the first two things. And there were 15 guys there. And there were two of us who started to work on this guy. And nobody had called 911. So, they're just the little things. And when I went through my motorcycle safety course, they did talk about that. But, had that guy, had they have taken a course, and I'm sure they didn't, because the guy who was in the accident didn't even have an endorsement on his license. So when they pulled his license out. So it's take the course, man. Take the course. And
absolutely,
we have like the Four Stooge, John, who rides with us. He was on me the other night about taking an advanced rider course, which is something like we probably all need to do, but like Bert said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to drop my bike in the advanced rider.
Perfect place to do it, not on the road.
No. Bert says he's not going to do it, but
we'll all be there to witness it.
Absolutely.
It's there are courses beyond just the basic course that most of us have all taken.
Yeah.
So,
Ours was completely different. I did a dirt bike class too, and I've rode dirt like when I was little on a cornfield, but not to the extent of like learning how to ride, because it's a completely different experience riding on dirt than it is on the street as well. So like if you can take and broaden your horizons and learn a little bit more, then it's just going to make you a better rider overall, whether you're on 2 wheels, 3 wheels, 4 wheels, whatever it may be. So
I rode a lot. A lot of years before I actually took my course, and I'm glad I did. I thought I knew how to ride until I took that course, and then I was like, "Whoa, that's how you do that?" I was doing it wrong. But then again, I grew up right in Puerto Rico. They ride all over the place.
Yeah.
So I was used to that until I took this course. I was like, "Wow, I now I know how to ride." I think.
Here you go, JT.
Oh, jeez.
Military biker says the 2 best things to buy is a gray helmet and a course.
Yep.
Also formerly known as Scouse Adventures.
Yep.
I just went to a full face, and actually the 3 of us at one point in time all had full faces on going to Sturgis.
Yep.
It was raining.
Yeah,
Rain.
world of difference in the rain. World of difference in the rain.
Oh, it's a huge difference.
Absolutely loved it.
We might have actually been able to keep up with the honoring one if we had full face helmets on that day.
I can agree with that. That's what hurt the most, and you couldn't see.
I couldn't see anything.
Couldn't
When
see
you don't have a
nothing.
full face helmet and it starts raining like that and it fogs up and everything's what you can't see anything.
When I was riding, I was out in Tennessee, and this was the second day I was on the street glide. I went through the Foothills Parkway to go back up to the Pigeon Forge, and I could see the blue clouds rolling in. I was like, well, I've got two options here. Either try to find cover or like wait it out and just get drenched on. So I tried to find cover, and literally as I was getting off the Foothills Parkway, it was downpour, torrential rain. Like you could see the water just rush through the road in front of you. I was white knuckled the entire time, had a full face helmet on. I could barely make it going 20 miles an hour down the road, but found the gas station, found a like little awning with another Ultra and the couple there that let me kind of take cover. But it was like probably one of the hardest riding I've ever done.
It's painful.
Wow.
It's painful.
It is.
So Jackie, this past weekend you went on a trip. Why don't you give us tell us a little story about where you went and what was going on?
Oh, I thought you heard something.
When you tell the story.
How do you know we didn't?
I don't know.
Wasn't me. We Blacktop Devil and Mrs. Blacktop Devil came in last Thursday to Claremore, and they stayed the night. And we left on Friday morning, and we went to Moyers, Oklahoma, to the K River to do the Stubborn American Party. I think that's what he's calling it, as a party. I think Brian and I were calling it a rally. But so I got to ride with them and their friend Corey and his wife Holly. We took a little bit of a back road, which was nice. We got there Friday around 1-ish, and we got to hang out with some people. I went back to my room for a while, and then went back and got to hang out with people again Friday night. And then Saturday we went and rode the Talamina Byway. And that I pushed myself that day. I led us down there, but whenever on Saturday, Brian took lead, and I was so thankful for that. But I was second, and I was so nervous. And Redbeard, he's in the chat. He was with us. Him and his father-in-law came in, and they rode with us. And we stopped, and I had to apologize to them. I'm like, guys, I'm really sorry. If you want me to ride in the back, I'll ride in the back. And they were all like, no freaking way. We want you to ride at your level and however you're comfortable. We're having a great time. You stay in second, and we're all fine with that. And that made me feel so good, because I thought, shit, here I am holding everybody up, because those blind corners would just, get me, those curves. When I couldn't see through it, I would just almost freeze up, and so I would take it a little bit slower. But they were all so kind. And then Saturday night, there was a big party, which was crazy. Go check out Dirty D's video that he put out. It was fucking crazy. There were things going on there. And then Sunday morning, we got up real early and we took off. I rode with them for an hour, and then we split off. And so I went one way and they went another way, and they went back home. But we had a hell of a time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we saw the pictures.
Yeah, but I did push myself, and that's one thing I feel like you have to do, is you have to push yourself. So I pushed myself this past weekend, and I know that I can do more than what I thought I could. So,
that's the way to test yourself, for sure.
Yeah, when you're in a situation, you have no other choice.
Yeah, you go for it.
I'm telling you, my butt hurts from clenching so hard. It was
Well, it sounds like you were with a good group of people, and that's really what it's all about, because they weren't really worried about all that. They just were having a good time. So that's cool.
Yeah, I appreciated that they didn't mind, and they were like, you're doing fine. I don't think you're, but here Brian's up in front. He's just cutting through everything, and I feel like a big baby, because I'm just like, oh, slim down a little bit. But no one cared. They were all fine with it. Everybody, said they would prefer I stay safe.
Ride your own ride. Doesn't matter if you're in your group. Ride your own ride.
Well, listen, Brian dropped his bike in our parking lot at our house in Sturgis. So don't worry
He
about it.
did.
No, I totally made that up. I just made
Here we go. I'm gonna wait for this comment.
Wanted to get him fired up.
I'm like, how did I miss that with the camera?
That's funny.
It's interesting. Like when you get on those roads. I mean, when we rode Back of the Dragon, you don't know what you're getting into sometimes.
You don't.
You don't know what you're getting into. I mean, when you went up Needles, did you have any idea what you were getting into?
No, absolutely not. I took that first corner and I went way too wide. Thank God there was nobody on the other side coming through, but I was like, I hadn't even hit the actual Needles road yet. Like, what am I getting myself into? And the same with, it wasn't bad as the Dragon because I was a slow turtle going through that entire thing. But afterwards, I don't know which parkway it is, but it was just a hairpin turn going all the way down. And I prayed for my life going, there is nobody around. I don't know if I have cell service. Let's hope I can make this turn because some of those ones that are off the Dragon that are very close by were interesting roads to ride. They were fun.
I'll be the first to tell you that that's not my favorite kind of riding. I mean, I'm not looking for the technical stuff.
No.
I don't ride a sport bike. I'm not in it for the speed thrills or those crazy curves like that. Like I like the big sweeping curves and being able to enjoy it and see the view while I'm doing it and not be all puckered up and nervous about dropping it. So
did you guys get to ride the Chirahala Skyway when you were there? Chirahala, is that how you say it?
Where's that at?
That's near the Dragon. It's one of the parkways there. Like you would love that.
No.
We didn't ride the tail.
We rode the back of the Dragon.
We were in Virginia and we rode the back of the Dragon.
God.
And there's a couple of them. There was somebody here talking about
The wing?
the wing of the Dragon. There's a claw of the
There's
dragon.
a head.
There's a head of the Dragon. So there's
got it.
out all
The
over.
claw. I think there's a claw of the Dragon.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They say the worst one is the head of the Dragon just because of the area it's in, but it's not.
Isn't that in West Virginia?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say it's a bad neighborhood.
Oh, this in the hood?
Yeah, it's in the hood or something like that.
That's weird.
That's crazy. Okay, now I'm understanding. Sorry.
So, the back of the Dragon was 32 miles.
Okay.
Not the 11, and it's an intense 32 miles because it's two mountains, 3,500 feet of elevation, and I don't know, 400 and something curved turns. It was a long road. It was a long.
It was a long 30-something miles
of that.
Is a lot.
Mentally, it takes a lot out of you.
It does. You're exhausted after that. Even the
You
break
get to the end and you realize how tight you're gripping the grip.
Yeah.
Hands hurt.
Yeah. Or your butt hurts because you clenching so much like
I was in the
It's true.
I was in the same spot though that Whit said. There was a couple times where I took the curves a little wide too, and I was lucky that nobody was coming the other direction. So
you did Needles. Did you do Iron Mountain too?
we did Iron Mountain.
Out of the two, because I didn't get to do Iron Mountain, which one did you enjoy more out of the?
We didn't do Needles.
Oh, you didn't do Needles.
We did do Needles.
Got it. Okay.
Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain was a cool road.
I like Iron Mountain.
The turns themselves on Iron Mountain were more technical than the turns on the back of the Dragon.
Yeah, they were.
There just weren't as many of them. I mean, the hairpins on Iron Mountain were they were real. I mean, they were tight corners. And the pigtails, I thought one of the best part about it was the pigtails. Because when you're that pigtail is just a corner and you're just going and going and going around that corner. And, I thought that was cool. But those hairpins, they were.
Yeah, I think
we're
the
two up.
most intense, points of a road were on Iron Mountain as compared to the back of the Dragon. But I found the back of Iron Mountain more enjoyable than back of
Those
Iron Mountain was more enjoyable than the back of the Dragon.
the pigtails were awesome. That was my favorite part of those roads.
Details were cool.
They were cool.
That's fine.
Kind of dizzy, but cool.
I'm looking forward to next year. Hopefully, I can do it next year. That's my goal.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy that.
Mhm.
Definitely.
So, Whitney, we didn't really get to talk about your Sturgis experience and that whole trip. Why don't you?
No, because I missed out on you guys. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to beeline it back to Wisconsin. So, as you guys were pulling into Sturgis, I was leaving already. But I got there the Wednesday before the rally started and rented a lowrider there. So I went through Mount Rushmore. I went up to Spearfish. I did, of course, Custer State Park and did Needles, and rode through Sturgis, the downtown area, but it wasn't as packed as what you guys had shared and what others had shared from a motovlogger perspective. So I'm kind of thankful for that because it was my first experience of going out to South Dakota. But I'm so glad I did, and it's got me wanting to ride a couple more, like the Spearfish Canyon, of course, the Iron Mountain.
Okay.
And I ended up, once I was done that Wednesday, I didn't really have anybody there that I was waiting for or anybody that I knew. I was still waiting for, when Blacktop was meeting up with a couple of the guys from at Full Throttle. I think it was that Sunday or was that Saturday? Saturday night. So I just decided to keep going west, and I ended up through Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and then came back and met up with them at Sturgis that time too. So I'm kind of thankful because I went through Yellowstone. I didn't get to ride on two wheels, but I did Beartooth Pass, and that was incredible just to ride from, to drive it in my car. But I want to go back and ride that on two wheels too. That would be awesome. So yeah, it was a full west trip kind of.
What was your favorite part of the whole thing?
I think riding out in Idaho and Wyoming, just some of those the Jackson Hole Pass was fantastic, and we did it just as the sun was setting too. So for my end, it was the cherry on top for the whole trip. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
I did Jackson Hole. I did that area in a car, not on a bike, and it was beautiful.
It's the whole elevation though was really getting to me. It was something I was not used to from that end. So kind of threw me for a little loop, but it was incredible riding out in that area too.
That's cool.
We had zero expectations, I think, of Wyoming, and we rode west into Wyoming twice. Once to go to Devil's Tower, which was the poorest vlogging effort of our short YouTube career, and then we rode to up through this place called Buckhorn and back down into Custer on, I think, 385.
Yeah.
And through this place called Hell Canyon, which was really, really, really nice riding.
You can't go wrong out there. So that's where I was I need to just go out and adventure and spend a whole nother full week on a bike, because I could only do that one day, and it was kind of frustrating because with the rental, if you started at any point in time on the rally, you had to have the bike for at least 5 consecutive days, and there was no way I was able to make that work. So I did what I could and enjoy what I normally ride.
Are you guys both from the states that you live in now?
Technically,
Are you both born and raised there? No?
I didn't know that.
Where are you from, Jackie?
I'm from Arkansas.
Okay.
That was just an hour and a half away, but yeah.
Not too bad.
How'd you end up in Oklahoma?
Mister.
No. I've been in Oklahoma since 1983. So my father moved us to Texas for a few years, and then we moved to Oklahoma. And then Mr. moved here from Missouri in 87. But we didn't meet each other until I think it was 92, he came over because he was going to beat up my boyfriend. So that's the first time I ever came to my house looking for my boyfriend. He was going to beat him up.
Nice.
I told him where he was too, so he could go beat him up, because I didn't care.
Well, he was successful then.
Yeah. Well, he had a girlfriend at the time, and she was very upset because he was going to beat up my boyfriend, because my boyfriend was a tool. So she was very, very unhappy with it.
Nice.
You just used Bert's favorite word. You see how giddy he
Oh,
is?
no.
I love it. That's great.
Fantastic. I've been to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. That's the only place I've been in Oklahoma. So.
Okay. Yeah.
We've our Arkansas was some of our favorite, definitely some of our favorite riding of our bring it home trip, and we did a lot of it in the pouring rain, and it was still awesome.
Yep.
And we laugh because, like, when you go to most states, they'll have roads that say, turn ahead 25 or turn ahead 35, and you get into Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and it says road ahead, steep and curvy.
Seriously?
That's it. Steep and curvy.
Steep and curvy.
You're on your own. Good luck.
In the pouring rain.
All the best.
And the funny thing is, it really wasn't that steep or curvy.
No, it
Really
wasn't. But the sign did its job, man. It slowed you down. Like, you didn't know what was coming.
That's not a bad tactic. That's funny.
Yeah, it did.
It was a good time.
Yep.
That was some great riding. I mean, imagine if that was in nice weather.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Eureka Springs is definitely a spot that I don't think there's any of us who doesn't want to go back there.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a great ride. But it's the pig trail, right?
Great ride. Yeah, the pig trail.
Pig trail.
Mm-hmm. So, and we were tired at that point. I mean, that was the day we left Texas. We left Paris, Texas, and rode from Paris, Texas to just east of Springfield, Missouri.
Dang.
Yep.
And that was day one home, and that was after 3 days out, a day of doing the event, going down the party at the Criver, getting up the next morning, and then doing that ride. So there was no break on that trip.
Wow.
It was just miles.
And we only went that way home because of the weather.
Right.
Tennessee looked like it was pretty much going to be covered in storms and rain for the next couple days. So if we had went through Tennessee the same way we came down, if we went back the same way, we were going to ride through rain like for 2 days. So we figured if we went north up that way, we would be able to, we'd hit some rain initially, but then we would kind of fall in behind the storm and then just be able to follow it. Because the storm was a huge storm moving all the way, from west to east across the country. So we just wanted to kind of tuck in behind it. Yes. Yeah. Austin.
No, I like his blacktop suggestion.
I do too.
Up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm game. Let's do it.
He wants to meet in the Ozarks for a ride. Now that he's been like that far east, he's all ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Ozarks look like they have some good shindigs.
Yep.
Plus, the show is really good. You guys watch that?
Yeah, I've seen that show.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ozark. Ozark, whatever it's called. What is this? Baggers and Brews, great stream. Whit and Jackie rock. Have a great weekend. Ride safe, everyone. Love you guys. Peace. Thanks, 333, and thank you for your super chat, whatever it's called.
Appreciate it.
Oh, shoot.
What are the questions we have?
Got anything in the side chat? Because I'm about tapped out of my pre-planned questions. You guys knocked them out.
The side chat, like once Anonymous got here and he he hijacked it, picking on the military biker.
Yeah.
And we were kind of diving into what a hillbilly JT Southern Fried is.
Apparently.
Oh, shoot. You guys got any questions for Whit or Jackie? Type them in there now. We'll ask them before we wrap this up.
Good Lord.
And while you're doing that, if you're not subscribed to either one of these ladies,
Yes.
you know, hit the sub button and hit that thumbs up button because it does mean a lot.
Mhm.
And especially the small YouTube channels, man, the velocity that you get from that thumbs up button is a big deal.
Absolutely. And if
So-
you're not subscribed to our channel, subscribe to that as well.
Please.
Just saying.
Thank you guys.
Why would you even be on here?
Hey, there's a
You never know.
You never know.
Oh, you stumble across some weirdos live streaming on a Thursday night.
drinking beers.
They're all attracted to the beard. They saw the beard. They're like,
I mean,
we
I
gotta
get
stop.
I get it.
That's it.
It makes sense.
Makes sense.
That's awesome.
So,
Bridget Whitwer has a question. How long does it take to produce a moto video?
Oh man.
who asked that?
Bridget Whitwer. And
Oh,
I don't
I
know,
know Bridget. Yeah, she's
Where's that at?
The bottom.
It's like an hour ago?
no, it's just
No, like
Just look up
I'm scrolling up.
Now
I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
the other way.
This answer is going to vary.
yes.
You're going to get probably 3 different answers from 3 different channels. What's
Okay,
your-
well, we have 3 editors on here, so let's go. Let's see what we got.
I need to time myself to do it because I don't know. I don't know how long it takes me, but for just a quick, short 15-minute, it might take me about 2 to 3 hours if I don't have to do much cutting. But like my iron butt one, it took me multiple days to finish all of that, to go through all the footage. So yeah, it's hard to
Good
say.
night, Redbeard. Thanks for watching.
What about you, Jackie? Where are you on editing time?
It does take me quite a while because I have to do my videos like 4 or 5 times. I'll shoot the same video because I sometimes cuss a little too much, and so then I'll do another take and cut out some of the F-bombs, and then I'll
Bleep 'em.
slowly get it down to where I'm just saying like shit, and I feel good with that. So I gotta go through all that footage to find my very last one, and I don't know, probably like I did a video that it's going to come out next week, and it's about 10.5 minutes long, and it probably took me 2 hours to get it to where I wanted it with all the different camera angles that I have to line up.
That'd be a great bloopers video. Just a bunch of beeps and you just doing
Oh, I wouldn't beep it though. I hate the beepy sound. Just
the
say
same
pop,
bleeper, but
you know?
you do what you want. It'd be a great bloopers.
Oh,
Don't even have to move it out. Just one to the other. It'd be
Just all just
cracking up.
Yeah,
And
that'd
then
be
you
great.
could have told the song because that would be hilarious if it was.
Be my
like,
longest
Make a song
video
out of
ever.
it. Yes. There you go.
you have to pump the brake on this, Jackie. You're close to getting monetized. You got to.
Oh, that's true.
I think everybody cusses though. It's like
Just-
breathing.
Just not in the first minute or so.
Like
You can kind of
breathing.
look
She says like breathing. That's funny.
So I think our shortest video, which was the did they cancel Sturgis? I think had probably like maybe like an hour and a half or so into it, because it was mostly talking head stuff, and we Bert was very organized with his notes. We kind of came through it. It was relatively smooth. And then I think on the other end of the spectrum, the second Sturgis video, Sturgis Part 2, I think is the record that probably broke 26 hours,
Wow.
Dang.
somewhere in there.
Wow.
But
How many hours?
like
Good
26.
Lord.
Yeah. I'm usually in and around 10, all things said and done.
Wow.
But
But you go back and look at that video, and it's like, wow.
That's worth it.
yeah, there was, and the Sturgis videos.
It was all right.
I mean, I'm really, whatever.
I'm kidding, Stacy. I know Stacy's getting all mad right now.
Oh.
Oh, she's not typing, so she's not that mad.
Just kidding.
wait for it. Wait for it.
But I mean, the Sturgis videos were special because not that, I'm sure at some point we'll all get back to Sturgis, but we probably will not get back to Sturgis with the group that we went to Sturgis with.
Mm.
So, I mean, that kind of made it, like a once in a lifetime trip. And, this channel started by recording and, vlogging those adventures. So, I mean, that's really what it was.
Mm.
So, Jackie, you better bleep some of my stuff. Nope.
It's mine now.
Okay, raw. It's going up.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Good work.
So, listen, we had you guys on because I think the three of us really do, respect and like the fact that there's women riders out there and women motovloggers and YouTubers, and I think it's awesome. We're not one of those, those guys that have those weird comments and sexist stuff. So I think it's awesome, and we just, really like you guys' channel, and we wanted to, give you guys a little, promotion and push people to go out and follow you guys and watch your stuff because we really enjoy it. So just in closing, we just want to thank you guys for coming on. We really do enjoy your channels. And do you guys have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I think it's all about community for me. So the more people I can meet and talk to like this, like we could sit and talk for probably countless hours, even after we're done here. But like that's what makes it for me, is getting to know you guys, and everybody that's through with the chat too, all throughout the country and even around the States here. But I appreciate it from that end, and it just makes it feel like a family, and I need that right now. So that's what I appreciate the most. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very well said. Yep.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being so kind. I remember when I met you in person last year, it was just, like you guys said, I'm the same person I am, but you guys are the same people you are. And when I met you, I felt like I already knew you.
Yep.
It was just like, hey, I haven't seen you in a bit kind of thing. So I love that feeling that I get from you guys. And I just appreciate you always being so kind and supportive. If I have any questions or something, you guys have given me tips on some things to do, and I really do appreciate that you think about that and know that you can reach out to me and say, hey, you might want to try to do this or do that. And I'll be like, thank you, because I appreciate that. So just want to thank everybody in the community that's just been supportive to all of the ladies. You men have been so kind, and you're great. And we love you, like in a brother way, not in another way. So I feel like I always have to say that because I don't want to get my butt kicked. I love you as a brother.
Real quick before I let George and Austin get their 2 cents in, Whit, we just wanted to say that as I'm an Army brat, Austin served. George is from a military family as well, and we know what you're going through with having a husband that's gone and away and doing his thing, and we really appreciate his service. So we just thank you for his service, and thank you for everything that you do, because we know that military wives are really what makes it all happen. So we appreciate everything that you do, and I hope everything's going well for you. And if you ever need to just vent or get anything off your shoulders, you can always shoot the Baggers and Brews guys a message on Instagram, and we'll be there to chat with you. So
thanks, guys.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
George and Austin, I'll let you guys wrap it up.
It's funny you mentioned that, because that's exactly what I was going to mention. First of all, much respect to these two ladies. What they're doing, out riding every day. Much respect to both of you. It takes a lot to get on up and get on out there. So, and Whit, definitely thank you so much for your support for the service, and thank you to your husband too for his service. I'm probably a military veteran myself.
You got it.
And I appreciate a lot what he's doing for us, keeping it all real out there.
Yep.
And much respect to both of you. Definitely like family, like Jackie said. Feels like I've known you for a long time. So
it's you know, when we do these live streams, we always try to have people on who are channels that we watch and enjoy, and that's a big part of it. And you know, to maybe bring those channels to, you know, a piece of our audience, you know, that has might not have seen them. And Motorcycle Mama, I mean, I think we've been with your channel since the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, that intro used to crack me up, and I'm not sure I saw it in like the last video or two, but that intro is great. And you know, Whit, I think Whit like popped into a Dirty D's live
I
chat.
don't know how I found. I tried.
At one point,
Yeah.
and you know, she said it right. I mean, there's a community, and there's a lot of people in the side chat tonight. There were 2 or 3 of them that are talking about starting a channel. And you know, there is a community of people out there. There is a Facebook group. It's Support MVC is the Facebook group. But there is, you know, there's a community of motovloggers, of YouTubers who you can really reach out to any one of us. And if you have any questions, and it's a great community of people.
It is.
So thank you guys for coming on, and you know, I look forward to see where the channels are going. And they're close to 1K. Hit the subscribe button for them.
Go click their subscribe button. Do it.
So
You
close.
want to see 1,000 from them.
You know,
You gotta get it.
and both on Instagram, right? Jackie, what's your Instagram?
It's motorcycle _ mama _mm.
Okay. So put that in the chat, and Whitney, make sure you put your Instagram in the chat, because as many motovloggers as there is on YouTube, there's probably 3 times that on Instagram.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, also a great thing. So thanks, ladies, for coming on. It was a good time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
I ran out of gear though, so I didn't want to go get.
Oh, that's completely.
I have one little sip left.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight and was watching in the side chat, commenting and having conversation over there. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and
Thank you, for
kind of giving us a reason to have these. So we'll be back next month and first Thursday in November. So
Awesome.
look for us. All right.
Definitely. Thank
Good
you
night,
guys.
Everybody
Thank you.
stay thirsty.
I love that. That's